Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to some Heart of the Swarm action. Today I've got a ladder game from the beta. It was given to me by Area Kitty, and as such I will start with their introduction. It is the blue Protoss in the lower left, Kitty. The opponent in the top right is someone who I actually think is a great British player, doing really well for himself. It is of course Team Dignitas's JonnyREcco. And the thing about Rico is that he's quite cool. He's a cool guy. I really like him. I've met him at I-46 and I-47, and I'm sure I'll see him again at I-48. So this is something that is really fun to watch. Now, I haven't actually seen any of Rico's HotS games yet. I know he took part in the ESEC qualifiers, invitational qualifier rather, a few weeks back. I cast with Jarasar. But what I didn't see was his game, unfortunately, because he was one of the games we didn't stream. And unfortunately, he got knocked out in the first round. I can't remember who he was up against, but it was someone very good. So, as such, he will probably be returning for the open bracket, trying to win himself a place to the grand finals of ESET. But again, that is beside the point. The point is what's going on this game. It is a PvZ, pylon on the low ground, so not much has changed there. In terms of what Rico will probably go for, it will be a 14 or 15 pull into a quick expansion, and then just really see where the mid and late game takes him. I'll be interested to see if he follows his teammate Teffel's playstyle, which is to get down Swarm Host Corruptor, and that is a very strong build against Protoss that seems to be exceptionally difficult to take out. The key to taking that out is ultimately getting some Tempest with the range in order to deal with the Swarm Host, but what you really need is to have an Observer. So how do you deal with that? How do you counter that as a Zerg? If you have an Overseer in order to take down that Observer, you then do not give the Tempest vision of your Swarm Hosts, and it becomes exceptionally hard for Protoss players to deal with. So that is a very strong build if you do want to try and execute it. Now, back to the game. We did have a Nexus before Forge out of Kitty so far. We do have the Overlord coming in though for Rico. And the other thing I've done is I've switched my health bars only to mouse over, just because I think it's more cinematic at the moment. I know usually I keep them on always up. I'll probably switch it back, but if you prefer them down or up, let me know in the comments section below, because then I can just do what people seem to like more. In terms of what's going on in the game so far, Cannon coming down, Hatchery coming down, Queen coming down. Everything is to be expected. Should be a third base. There we go. I saw Rico clicking down there already. So that's just with the Zerglings, the drone now on its way. And as such, he should be fairly okay to deal with this. He's going to stay a base up. It's just up to Kitty now to try and put on some pain. So be it a 2-base play, be it just taking a quick third. Whether he gets his Mothership Core out or not is the thing that I'm really excited about seeing, because a Mothership Core early on can open up a lot of options for a Protoss against Zerg, especially with pushing into the third base with a handful of Stalkers and Zealots, dealing some damage, and if you don't feel you're comfortable, you can just use Mass Recall back. The other thing with the Mothership Core is you can secure your third quickly due to Photon Overcharge, just giving you some extra DPS should a big push come through. But for the moment, these two just playing the macro game, getting up the gas, getting up the key tech. JonnyREcco should be getting up his gas at around 40 to 50 supply. Early game Zerg, especially early builds, have not changed. There's no changes to Zerg really until Lair Tech. The only difference being you can get Burrow off of basically just a Hatchery now, but I haven't seen that many pro players utilize that or really try and do anything with it so far, so not sure if that's just because they haven't thought of any great ways to do it yet, or just that they don't feel it's worth it. Maybe a bit situational, but there's definitely some cool things that could be done with it. It's just whether it's worth the risk and investment. In terms of what Kitty's getting down, Twilight Council. That straight away eliminates the risk of it being, say for example, an Immortal Sentry all-in. No need to worry about anything such as Oracles, although Oracles on this map wouldn't be that great in my opinion, because there isn't too much dead space. You can try and utilize this cliff and main area, but to be honest, I think you're better off not going for them, at least at the moment. 3 additional gateways on their way down, and now a Dark Shrine, so quick DTs out of Kitty. Is JonnyREcco going to be able to get down the evolution chamber in time in order to see this? Is he going to get down a lair to get overseers? We will wait and find out shortly. These two overlords being pushed back by a single stalker, and this is a good play. But the thing you've always got to be wondering, and what you always will be wondering, is, hey, if my opponent is being so careful not to allow my overlords in, what is he hiding? I wonder. Sees the gas coming down with that overlord. That's a bit of a giveaway that it's something gas heavy to see all four down. These zerglings are making good map control, good vision, checking around for proxy pylons or anything like that, but it's hidden up in the very top left, so it may not be the closest spot, but it is still there. The evolution chamber on its way down, the lair on its way down, and these are the important things, because we need spore crawlers or we need overseers in order to deal with this push. And as we're seeing, the DT's just going to be the harassment to force Rico back, allowing Kitty to take this third. The Zerglings running around quite happily for the time being. The first roach is hitting the field. We should see roach speed started as soon as the lair is finished, but for the time being, these Zerglings on their way. The first DTs are warping in. Oh my goodness, are they going to do any damage? There's no spore crawlers yet. They could do an awful lot. The 5th and 6th gas coming down. 4 DTs is a big commitment. No spore crawlers though. 4 DTs, no spore crawlers. The lair is nearly finished. It's so close. Needs an overseer. These are going to do so much damage still. The Zerglings are coming into the third base of Kitty though. The cannon taken down. The Stalker is going to have to be very careful. But still, regardless, 2 DTs to the natural. The Queen gets taken out there. Meanwhile, the rest of those Zerglings are pushed back by the Zealots. 1 DT in the natural, 1 DT coming up into the main. Overseers morphing, 2 are on their way, but just look at how many drones are going to be going down. Great control out of Rico though, using that stop command to try and take the pressure off the drones. So this is a smart move by itself, but this DT in the main is still doing some good damage. Will now get taken down though, and that just leaves these 2 DTs chipping away at the third base. There's still one at the natural as well. More work on their way through. The Roach is desperately trying to come back, but are they going to get there in time? They should do. The Speedlings coming in. That will force the rest of these DTs back out the way. Unfortunately, will not be able to get the third base, but still, there were quite a few workers killed. There's 17 in total. That has knocked the Zerg player behind, and due to the fact that Kitty is on 3 bases, on the equal bases with Rico, this is now anyone's game to take. The Spire on its way down, perhaps gonna try and go for some Muta play. Of course, Mutas with their increased regeneration are very strong indeed, and all we're really seeing out of Kitty at the moment is just a big gateway wall off coming down to the third, making a very defensive position, defending this cannon, just to make sure that actually I can hold this base if I need to, because this is my risk, this is my investment. I went for a harassment style build in order to secure this base. I've managed to do so. I should be ahead in my worker count still, and therefore I should be able to win this game as long as I don't take any losses and I deal with anything the Zerg throws at me in the near future. Now, I am just taking a quick look at what else is going down. I've got just a wall off coming at the natural base. It's, well, a cannon, a photon cannon, a pylon, and these 2 gateways. So that is just really meaning that all Kitty has to worry about is this third, and that is a smart move by itself. Still though, Rico has not found this proxy pylon, and you need to spot that and you need to take it out, because otherwise the harassment will continue throughout the game. But Overseers just chilling at the natural. Is there one of the main? There was one of the main. It must have gone, but that's not to matter. There's one of the third and one of the natural. We do have the macro hatch on its way out, the Spire finished, as well as the 4th base on its way, and here come the Mutalisks, but more DTs are coming down. Where are they morphing? They are up here. For some reason my click to production tab was not working, but of course a single Archon getting warped in here. With these Stalkers, this could potentially do a lot, and I don't think the Zerg player has any clue this is coming in. If we look at his vision, nope, no vision until any second. Oh my goodness, there's a hold on the Stalkers here. Run away, run away. These Roaches did not get the memo that this was not a fun push, and of course, even though there are a handful of Mutalisks on the field, 12 to be precise, that Archon and Stalker force is possibly the best you could hope for to deal with that at this stage, and that means Rico is just gonna go for the aggression. The third base has been taken down. He's gonna be forced to try and base race. The drones running to their death. Oh, the poor drones. Quick turnaround, run away. But meanwhile, these Mutas have taken out the only cannon defending the third. There's one cannon here defending the natural, and needs to get out of the way of the second one. Doesn't want those meters going down. He's going to try and focus down the cyber core, which is smart thinking, because then no more stalkers. I've just got to deal with the stalkers that are out now, and I should be fine. The fourth base is up, but of course with the third down, with so many drones down, this isn't going to be too comfortable. So many speedlings coming down, trying to deal with this stalker force. The natural base is slowly dying. The muters are trying to go for a base race, but it's never going to work. A great time warp out of Kitty there, just trying to prevent those drones getting away, killing as many as possible. The natural now dead. Recco is just chipping away, but muters against this large force is not going to work. And there we see the recall. That was oh so clever. I just got speechless there, because seriously, using the recall in that situation is precisely why the Mothership Core is potentially one of the most powerful units in a Protoss composition, because as we saw, a heavily engaged Protoss there who did a huge amount of damage could just recall back in order to come and deal with this threat. But let's take a quick summary of what just went down. The third base was taken out, the natural base was taken out, a DT now trying to chip away at the fourth. Recco lost an awful lot of drones, but he managed to take out the cyber core, preventing any more stalkers coming out. There has been another one built now though, and the muters have just been chipping around in order to try and kill anything and everything they can. So where does this leave us? Well, the worker count 45 to 51, but this main base and the fourth are the only things still mining for the Zerg, compared to the third, natural and main still being up for Kitty. But the muters are being relentless nonetheless. They are trying to pick off damage, but as we can see, Kitty moving up with a very large stalker force, going to come just straight from the main. That Spire is likely to be a quick target, but for the moment, with nothing to defend, the stalkers are just going to try and base race this straight the way out. And of course, the one thing we know is that Recco will not be able to deal with that and leaves the game. So Kitty with a good job there, some good play, showing us exactly how potent that mass recall on the Mothership Core can be. So congratulations. Remember, if you did enjoy watching, like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I'll see each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new game. Bye for now.